This story follows the second half of a tale. If you haven't seen part 1, check out the channel. Now, without further ado, enjoy. Under the grey skies of northern Lordaeron, Tirion Fordring and his younger self journeyed to Lordaeron city to speak with the king of a matter of great importance, for their mission bore the weight of the kingdom's fate. Despite the death of Kel'Thuzad, the architect of the plague, the necrotic magic had already seeped into the wheat fields. If harvested and milled, this cursed grain would spread a magical disease once consumed, undetectable until it turned the victims into savage and mindless undead. Approaching the great stone archway of Lordaeron city, they were halted by guards who recognized the younger Tirion Fordring and, aware of his banishment, denied them entry. The elder Fordring, a reflection of his younger self, yet bearing the marks of time, was mistaken for an older relative. At this moment, Knights of the Silver Hand arrived, led by Uther, the Lightbringer himself. Uther, a figure of legend, addressed the young Tirion Fordring with a stern reminder of his exile. His gaze then fell upon the elder Fordring, clad in ornate battle armor and carrying the radiant Ashbringer. In the presence of this venerable warrior, Uther sensed the truth and righteousness that the elder Fordring embodied. This moment of recognition between Uther and the elder Fordring was a confluence of past and future, where trust was reforged in the fires of shared faith. Uther saw in the elder Fordring not just an old friend from another time, but something more. He sensed the raw power of the holy light enveloping him. Within the high walls of Lordaeron city, Uther the Lightbringer ushered the two Tirion Fordrings to the royal court. As they walked, the elder Fordring, a man out of time, revealed his extraordinary tale. He spoke of a divine mission bestowed by the holy light, a journey through time to save the kingdom from a looming darkness that threatened to consume all in its path. Uther, a devoted servant of the light himself, found no hesitation in believing this remarkable truth. In the grandeur of the throne room, they stood before King Terenus Menethil, a ruler faced with the gravity of unseen peril. The elder Fordring spoke earnestly, painting a vivid picture of the impending doom, a plague of undeath that would lead to apocalypse if left unchecked. His words, echoing with the wisdom of experience and the urgency of their quest, resonated with the king. Moved by Tirion Fordring's forewarning and Uther's steadfast belief, King Terenus sanctioned a daring decree. The Order of the Silver Hand, under Uther's leadership, would traverse the breadth of Lordaeron. Their task was grim yet vital, to scorch the fields and granaries, eradicating any trace of the cursed grain that threatened to sow death and sickness across the land. The young Tirion Fordring was granted a role in this crusade. Despite Uther's initial reluctance, the elder Fordring's insistence left no room for argument. The discussion turned to both of the Fordrings' past choices, particularly their unwavering oath to the orc, Eitrig. He explained that their vows were never to be forsaken, for how else could they call themselves paladins? These words of truth and wisdom convinced Uther, leading to the young Tirion Fordring's exoneration and acceptance into the Order once again. Thus they set out across Lordaeron, purifying the land. It was during this quest that they crossed paths with Prince Arthas Menethil and Lady Jaina Proudmoore. The elder Fordring, gazing upon these faces from a past not unlike his own, felt a chill of recognition. Here stood Arthas Menethil, not yet the Lich King he was destined to become. In secret, the elder Fordring vowed to alter this course of history. He believed fervently that with his guidance, Arthas Menethil would remain true to the light, averting the path that would lead to the rise of the undead scourge and the fall of Lord Tirion. In this moment, the elder Fordring saw not only a chance to save a kingdom, but to redeem a soul from darkness, ensuring a future bright with hope, unmarred by the shadows of despair. The company journeyed through the lands of Lord Tirion. Jaina Proudmoore, using her talents in the arcane arts, played a pivotal role. With her magical insight, she discerned the presence of the insidious plague. This knowledge proved invaluable, sparing many granaries from destruction, yet those tainted by the magical plague were purged in flames, a necessary sacrifice to prevent the spread of corruption. The task was arduous, often met with the despair of farmers who watched their life's work turned to ash. As their quest unfolded, a grim reality surfaced. A few villagers, having consumed the cursed grain, had fallen and risen again as the mindless undead. Nevertheless, they were swiftly vanquished by the combined might of the heroes. In the wake of their harrowing task, Lord Tirion returned to peace. Farmers returned to their fields, and with the aid of the Kirin Tor, thanks to Jaina Proudmoore's influence, the scarred earth was healed, and the promise of bountiful harvests returned. The vigilance of the Kirin Tor's wizards ensured that future grains remained untouched by the malevolent plague. In this time of renewal, Prince Arthas Menethil, Uther, Jaina, and both the young and elder Fordrings found kinship and camaraderie. Their journey led them to Hearthglen, a town symbolizing the newfound tranquility of the kingdom. Here, the younger Tirion Fordring was reunited with his wife Carandra and son Talon, a moment of profound joy and contentment. The elder Fordring, witnessing this reunion, felt this moment to be bittersweet, a reminder of what could have been in his own time. Yet, in the shadows, the Dreadlords, beings of sinister intent and malevolent power, seethed with frustration. Tichondrius, Mal'Ganis, Balnazar, and Varimathras, thwarted in their designs, sought new means to wreak havoc. Mal'Ganis, employing the art of deception innate to his kind, infiltrated the capital city in a mortal guise, eventually revealing his true form in the throne room. In a swift, treacherous act, he struck down King Tyrannus Menethil before vanishing into the ether, leaving behind a kingdom plunged into turmoil and chaos. In the quiet streets of Hearthglen, a shadow loomed as Balnazar, a schemer among the Dreadlords, donned the guise of Prince Arthas Menethil. With cunning deceit, he lured Uther, the venerable leader of the Silver Hand, into seclusion under the pretense of much-needed counsel. In this isolated moment, Balnazar revealed his demonic form, engaging Uther in a dire battle with intentions most foul. Elsewhere in Hearthglen, a sinister convergence unfolded as Varimathras and Tichondrius ambushed the group of heroes. Outmatched by the overwhelming might of the Dreadlords, only Tirion Fordring, wielding the sacred Ashbringer, stood as a beacon of hope. Tragedy struck as Carandra and Talon, along with many brave knights and townsfolk, fell to the onslaught of the lesser demons. In the heart of chaos, Tirion Fordring, his blade gleaming with holy light, struck down Varimathras, banishing the fiend to the nether. The survivors rallied, inspired by his valor as he purged the demonic horde, his sword turning them to ash. Yet, in a moment of profound sacrifice, Tirion Fordring shielded Arthas Menethil from certain death, striking a fatal blow to Tichondrius, but at the cost of his own life. In this act, he reaffirmed that he believed Arthas Menethil could still emerge as a champion of the light. As the elder Tirion Fordring lay dying, his final prayer was a plea to the light, a wish for his younger self to persevere in his faith despite the grievous loss of family. It was a somber acceptance of a fate that seemed inescapable, a tragic destiny entwined with loss. In the aftermath, Hearthglen lay in mourning. Only Prince Arthas Menethil, young Tirion Fordring, and Jaina Proudmoore stood amidst the ruins. Beside the fallen Uther they discovered Balnazar, indicating a duel that had ended in mutual destruction. Grief enveloped Arthas Menethil and young Tirion Fordring, each grappling with profound loss. The former mourning his mentor, the latter his older self and family. In this crucible of sorrow, a bond was forged. Arthas Menethil and the young Tirion Fordring found solace in their shared anguish, vowing in the light to support and protect each other. United in honor and loss, they became brothers in arms. Young Tirion Fordring, inheriting the Ashbringer, pledged to wield it in memory of his older self. In the wake of these tumultuous events, Arthas Menethil and Tirion Fordring journeyed to Lord Daron's city, hearts heavy with grim tidings. Yet upon their return, they found the kingdom veiled in sorrow and confusion, for King Tyrannus had fallen, a victim to the vile machinations of Mal'Ganis. In the ensuing weeks, a shadow loomed over Lord Daron, with Mal'Ganis in hiding after learning that his diabolic brethren had been vanquished. Lord Daron, yearning for a beacon of hope in these dark times, watched as Arthas Menethil ascended the throne. Crowned King Arthas Menethil in a solemn ceremony, he bore the weight of a kingdom grieving and adrift. Kings from the alliance of Lord Daron gathered, bearing witness to this new chapter. Among them was King Magni Bronzebeard, his presence a testament to the unity and strength of the alliance. In a gesture of faith and renewal, Highlord Alexandros Morgraine bestowed upon the new king a holy crystal, once shrouded in darkness, but now a symbol of purity and hope. Entrusted to the masterful hands of Magni Bronzebeard, this crystal was to be forged into a kingly weapon of great power and significance. Magni Bronzebeard, a blacksmith unparalleled in skill, crafted a mighty warhammer. At its core lay the sanctified crystal. Unbeknownst to all, this crystal shared its origin with that of the Ashbringer. In the hands of King Arthas Menethil, it became more than a mere weapon. It was a symbol of hope and renewal. In tribute to his mentor, Uther the Lightbringer, and to signify a new dawn for his people, Arthas Menethil named this formidable warhammer Lightbringer. It was a homage to Uther, a promise of hope, and a fitting counterpart to Tirion Fordring's Ashbringer. Together, these weapons, wielded by steadfast friends, stood as holy harbingers of a brighter future for Lord Daron. In time, a new challenge arose when Jaina Proudmoore revealed news to King Arthas Menethil. The Dreadlord Mal'Ganis, the fiend responsible for the death of Arthas's father, was sighted weaving his dark designs in Stratholme city. Seizing the initiative, Jaina employed her arcane mastery to teleport herself, Tirion Fordring, and King Arthas Menethil directly to Stratholme, setting the stage for a pivotal confrontation. Upon their arrival, they found Stratholme beset by a ghastly undead horde. In the thick of battle, the Lightbringer and Ashbringer, wielded by Arthas Menethil and Tirion Fordring, revealed a profound synergy. In close proximity, the two weapons, bound by their crystalline hearts, amplified each other's holy power, transforming Arthas Menethil and Tirion Fordring into an indomitable force, radiant and unyielding. While Jaina teleported the imperiled citizens to safety, Arthas Menethil and Tirion Fordring, united in purpose, scoured the city for Mal'Ganis. The final confrontation was fierce, a clash of light against darkness. Mal'Ganis, a being of considerable power, was ultimately no match for the combined strength of the holy warriors. With a resolute strike of Lightbringer and Ashbringer, the Dreadlord was vanquished, his dark influence purged from the land. In the aftermath, the kingdom of Lord Darren breathed a sigh of relief, free at last from the clutches of the Dreadlords and the undead scourge. The vision of the elder Fordring had been realized. Arthas Menethil, guided by the light, had averted a grim destiny. Young Tirion Fordring, bearing the legacy of the Ashbringer, continued to uphold the ideals of his elder self. The valor and virtue of King Arthas Menethil and Highlord Tirion Fordring resonated far and wide, even reaching the ears of the High Elves of Quel'Thalas. Impressed by the two paladins' incredible holy might, rivaled only by their own Sunwell, the elves contemplated an alliance with Lord Darren. Under the stewardship of Tirion Fordring, the Silver Hand opened its ranks, embracing the elves in a gesture of unity. He, alongside King Arthas Menethil, fostered a newfound alliance between the kingdoms of Quel'Thalas and Lord Darren, united under the banner of the Holy Light. Thus, a new era dawned, one of peace and hope. That's the end of this tale. We hope you enjoyed. If you want more stories like these, please subscribe and give the old video a like. Until next time, ScorpRogue out.